Hello everyone, welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For today's practice, you'll want to have 2 yoga blocks. And if you have a strap, just set that aside just in case. I invite you to start in some version of hero's pose if your knees or your whole body is okay with it. And that's where you bring the knees in front of you. And you could also take a block and sit on it in between your ankles like this. If sitting in this fashion in any way does not feel okay, sit in a way that you can sit upright and be relaxed at the same time. So welcome to the practice. This week, I mentioned that I'm going to be reiterating the 4 keys to inner peace as it's spelled out in the Yoga Sutras. In fact, this one is a translation of the Yoga Sutras written by Nischala Joy Devi in her book, The Secret Power of Yoga, which is our book club for February and March. So here's a little bit about it. Perception of our true nature is often obscured by physical, mental, and emotional imbalances. And these imbalances can promote restlessness, uneven breathing, worry, and loss of hope. These imbalances can be prevented from engaging by developing loyalty to a sacred practice. To preserve openness of heart and calmness of mind, nurture these attitudes. Here are the 4 keys to inner peace. 1, kindness to those who are happy. 2, compassion for those who are less fortunate. 3, honor for those who embody noble qualities. And 4, equanimity, which means evenness of mind, to those whose actions oppose your values. Now, last class or yesterday in our yin practice, I went over the first one, kindness to those who are happy, which sounds like, duh, that's easy to do. But I mentioned how we could be challenged with that. Now, she says it's interesting to really think about how the ways those keys for inner peace are challenges, or how we can come across challenges in using them. So here she talks about the second one, compassion for those who are less fortunate. And she says, like rainy days, as it's been here in LA in the past few days, sometimes you're running late. And that might be reason enough to create anxiety and prompt us to neglect our compassionate nature. And if you feel rushed, a simple delay accelerates your anxiety. And so maybe you're sitting in traffic, rushing to get to yoga class. And finally, the light turns green and the car in front of you doesn't go. And all this anxiety and frustration starts to rise up. And so you honk and you're like, what's going on? And it isn't until much later that you realize that there was somebody who was struggling to cross the street, walking as fast as they could, but really slow, holding up the traffic. So compassion for those who are less fortunate. Sometimes when we're in the zone of our own things I have to do, we can forget that, or we can lose that ability to see where compassion is needed. And remember, when we're cultivating these keys, like the kindness to those who are happy, compassionate to those who are less fortunate, we are also protecting our inner peace. Because how much energy does it take to get angry and frustrated, and honk the horn? So how do we bring that into our yoga practice? All of these keys need to be practiced with ourselves first and foremost, so that they can actually emerge in those moments, especially those challenging ones. So how do you practice compassion with your own body? And to add that part to those that are less fortunate, maybe that could be parallel to parts of your body that are needing extra nurturing. Maybe parts that are struggling in a pose, or parts that feel really tense. How do you practice that kindness and compassion to those areas? So that's in the physical yoga, but we know that we're not just separating physical body. We can't. The mind is here too. The spirit is here too. So we're affecting all these dimensions through one layer of the yoga practice. Let's begin. So as you're sitting tall and still and at ease, become more aware of what you are experiencing in your bodily sensations, scanning around different parts. Bring compassionate attention to any part of your body that might be struggling in any way, feeling some kind of discomfort or strain or tension. How might that awareness color your discernment of variations of poses and movements, or giving yourself moments to rest as you need? Bring awareness to the breath, which always offers us information of our nervous system. Sense what your energy is like right now. And then notice your heart, any emotion passing through, wanting to be recognized. Notice your mind, or the energy of your thoughts. And now, working with what is uniquely on your plate today, invite a deeper inhale. And you might even choose to sound it out. This time, as you inhale to the very top of the breath, pause for a few seconds and feel that fullness. And then once again, through the mouth, let it all out. Pause at the bottom and feel that emptiness. Try it again one more time. You might bring your hands to prayer at your heart center, recognizing something that you feel gratitude for at this moment. Through that lens, begin to set your intention for your practice. Clarify what you are inviting into your experience, even beyond this hour of asana, physical yoga. And as a way of offering up our efforts beyond our individual selves, the practice of aparigraha and Ishvara pranidhana we talked about last week, call to mind someone that you care about that you might choose to dedicate today's practice to. And together, let's create resonance by joining our voices, chanting 3 ohms. Inhale deeply. Let's start to use the breathing technique called Ujjayi Pranayama to invite steady mental focus, calm energy, by balancing the inhales as slowly as the exhales while closing your lips, breathing through your nose, and creating a very soft whispering sound by gently narrowing the back of your throat. Keeping that slow and steady, gentle rhythm. Gently open your eyes and let's make our way to our backs. So actually bring your 2 blocks with you as you lie down on your back. And place the skinniest width of 1 block right between your ankles. Place the skinniest or the middle width of the 2nd block between your knees and thighs, like this. Depends on the width of your hips. So you can keep your knees hips distance apart. Now, as you're lying here, open the arms apart, palms face down. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed on the ground the whole time we're going to begin moving. Lengthen your neck and the rest of your spine as you gently activate the belly, stretching the tailbone forward. Lift your shins parallel to the floor, pointing or flexing your feet to activate the muscles in your legs. Inhale here. As you exhale, slowly lower your knees to the right side as much as you can. Hover your legs without collapsing them on the floor. Again, while keeping the left shoulder down. Inhale, slowly lift your knees back to center. And then exhale to the left. Hover without dropping the legs, grounding the right shoulder. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Nice and slow with control rather than swinging the legs with momentum. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. If you're feeling that's pretty easy and you want to challenge yourself a little more, inhale to center, try straightening your legs. And then exhale, hover the feet towards your right hand. Inhale to center. If that's too much, you can always bend the knees again. Exhale towards the left hand. Follow your breath pace slowly for 2 more on each side. Keep going. Already practicing Vinyasa flow here, which is breath-led movement. Waking up our twisting muscles around the sides of the torso, which are your obliques. And that's the theme of our practice today, physically, spinal twists. Very cleansing for the digestive system, evokes energy flow through the 7 chakras, mostly around your solar plexus. When you're done, go ahead and set the blocks aside and bend your knees into happy baby pose. Maybe rocking side to side, few breaths. But in happy baby, ground your shoulders, tailbone, and head still to help lengthen your spine. Notice if your breath pattern has changed. Keep listening. Bring your hands to your outer thighs and draw your bent knees together into your chest. Begin to rock and roll forward and back a few times, so that eventually you can rise to stand in mountain pose right at the front of your mat. If you'll want to have your blocks for half forward folds, set them up in front of your mat, like this. Feet hips distance apart, parallel to each other. Join your hands at your heart in Padasana. Renaming your intention for this practice. And offering gratitude to a huge source of energy, the sun. Let's begin Surya Namaskar, C, sun salutation C. As you inhale, sweep your arms forward, raise the arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana and gently coil your chest up. Exhale, bow forward from your hips. Place your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step the left knee behind you into a kneeling lunge and gaze up. Holding your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, sticking your tailbone up. Inhale, slide forward onto the floor, entering Cobra pose. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips high and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb and lower your right knee, gazing up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and overhead, coiling your chest up. Exhale, join your hands at your heart again. One more time, second side. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gaze up in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward in Uttanasana. Place your fingertips down. Inhale, step your right knee back, Anjaneyasana, gaze up. As you hold your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, then chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither to the ground and coil the chest up in Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Exhale, lift your hips back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee, gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, root down to rise. Exhale, hands in prayer at your heart. Let's move on to the second sun salutation, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep your arms up again. Exhale, bow towards the earth. This time, press into your blocks of the floor and inhale, lengthen your spine forward into half forward fold. Walk back to plank, and as you exhale, glide forward and bend your elbows back to hug your side ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Either Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, inhale, broaden your chest up. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Let's cultivate stillness, steady gaze, rebalancing 3 deep breaths. When you finish the third exhale, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold or Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold or Uttanasana. Root down, inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to your heart center, Padasana. One more time, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Either step to plank again or lightly jump into Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue on your own to your Vinyasa. Pausing in Adho Mukha Svanasana for 3 deep breaths. Bringing kindness and compassion to your body, mind, and breath. When you're ready, walk or float to the top. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, rising up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Moving into Surya Namaskar B. Bring the inner edges of your big toes to touch and inhale as you bend the knees together to touch. Sitting towards your heels in chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, shift forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank or float to Chaturanga. Take it through your Vinyasa. When you arrive in Downward Dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, gently step the foot forward beside your right thumb and lower your left heel. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior One. Ride your exhalation down and continue into your Vinyasa. From Downward Facing Dog, second side. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale the foot gently forward beside your left thumb. Spin your right heel down. Inhale, rise up into Virabhadrasana 1. Ride your exhale down into your Vinyasa. As you pause for 3 breaths in Downward Facing Dog, check in with how your body feels. Are you listening to it compassionately and responding with kindness? After 3 breaths, if you're ready to, walk or float to the front of your mat. Feet touching, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Knees touching too. Inhale, sit low in Utkatasana. Exhale, rise to Padasana. One last time. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Take it to your Vinyasa. Follow your breath. When you arrive in downward dog, keep going. Right leg first, breathe in to lift. Breathe out to lower. On your own, both sides. Pause for 3 breaths or more if you need. Downward dog. And of course, child's pose is always an option if you need to rest. Once your breath is rebalanced and smooth, walk or float to the front of your mat. Feet touching, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. With knees touching, inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise up. So from here, let's take the 2 blocks, step or jump your feet wide apart facing the wide width of your mat, and place the blocks behind your calves, preparing for triangle pose. So turn to face, or first start with your right leg from the right hip socket. Turn it out 90 degrees to face the short edge of your mat. Turn in the left leg 45 degrees, aligning the right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Open your arms and stand tall. Lengthen your spine, wrists on top of the ankles, root down through the big toe mound of the right foot, the outer edge of the left foot evenly. Then glide your pelvis sideways towards your left side, reaching your right hand past your right knee towards the horizon. Lower the right hand on the right side of your right shin on a block or the floor, and raise your left arm straight up. Now let's bring a little more side stretch. So rotate your left tricep or outer upper arm to face the wall that you're facing, your left wall here, and then extend the left arm overhead while drawing both shoulder blades down your back. If you're feeling very energetic, you could micro-bend the right knee and extend the right arm overhead too, like you're squeezing a block between the palms. Let's stay for another 3 or 4 breaths. Spiral your chest slightly to face the sky, steadying your gaze or drishti on one point. Trikonasana. Now gaze at the floor ahead of your right foot. Walk your right hand onto your block of the floor, 6 inches forward to the right pinky toe and out to the right corner. Drag the left foot forward and flex it off the ground in Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Now you could choose to extend the left arm overhead here as well, or play with any other variations you feel inspired to, like Chapasana, where you bend the left knee towards your belly and catch the top of the foot, rolling the left shoulder back. Got about 3 more breaths here. Tack the crease of your right hip back towards your inner left knee and try to lengthen your right side body. If your left knee is bent, straighten the leg and softly step into Warrior Two. Deep breath here. From Warrior Two, keep your feet wide apart and straighten both legs, parallel both feet. Now let's switch to the second side. From your left hip socket, turn out your left leg 90 degrees to face the short edge of your mat. Turn the right leg inward 45 degrees. Align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot, opening your arms wide. Stand tall, shoulders relaxed. Glide your pelvis sideways towards the right foot side of your mat and reach your left hand past your left knee before setting it down just to the left side of your left shin. Use a block if you need. Right arm to the sky. Rotate your right tricep to face your right wall and extend that arm overhead or the wall you're facing. Shoulder blades down the back. Now, if you lifted the bottom hand on the first side, micro bend the left knee here, and then raise the left arm parallel to the right. Draw the left hip crease back. Spiral your chest towards the sky. About 3 more deep breaths in your version of triangle pose. Moving on to half moon, gaze at the ground in front of your left foot. Place the left fingertips on block or the floor, 6 inches forward and out to the left corner of that foot. Keep the foot just where it is and drag the right foot forward, flexing it off the floor. Then you might extend the top arm overhead. You might come into Ardha Chandra Chapasana, bending the right knee. Take your version. About 3 or so more breaths. Straightening your right leg, softly land warrior 2. Then cartwheel your hands to plank. Optional to flow through a vinyasa or a few cat-cows. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Deep breaths. As you spread your fingers flat into the earth like a rooted tree. Inhale, sweep your right leg behind you. Now as you exhale, cross your right knee towards your left elbow, entering fallen triangle, where you straighten your right leg towards your left wall, flexing the right foot, lean the outer edge of it on the floor, push the floor away. Spin the left heel flat into the ground, rooting the outer edge of the left foot. Stacking right shoulder over right wrist, press the floor away with right hand and raise the left. How's the breath? Draw the shoulder blades down your back. You might opt to extend the left arm overhead, more of a side stretch, and or hover the right foot off the floor, a little more core strengthening. Wherever you are, tune into about 3 or so more breaths. Use every part of your body that's touching the ground to press the ground away and lift the right hip. Hello, obliques, our twisting muscles. Come back to 3-legged downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back. Exhale again, tap right knee to left elbow, but this time, lightly step right foot beside right thumb. Lower the back knee. Inhale the arms up. Anjaneyasana. Make sure you have your legs hips width apart. And you're bending the front knee just on top of the heel, but not in front of it. So we're stretching into our left hip flexor too, and if you're feeling that it's okay to do that deeper, you can slide the right foot forward a little more, sink the pelvis a little lower, and lift your frontal hip bones. Draw the tailbone down, lengthen the lower back. Let's open up the chest a bit. Hook your thumbs, roll the shoulder heads back and down, and right under your shoulder blades, encourage the lift of your chest as you start to gaze up. About 3 more breaths. Lifting your spine vertically, bring the right heel directly under your right knee, left hip directly above left knee, and we'll prepare for a twist. Use your right hand to cup the top of your right thigh, and inhale as you stretch your spine forward. Now twisting at your waistline, turn your chest to the right, either lowering the left hand on a block or the floor, right under the left shoulder and raising the right arm. or hooking the left elbow outside of your right thigh, and either joining your hands in prayer, opening your arms apart, or moving into a bind where the left arm wraps under the right thigh and the right arm wraps behind you where the hands clasp. Whatever version of your twist, make sure you can still regulate balanced breath. You might even choose to lift the back knee, making sure your hips stay even in height so you're stabilizing your lower back and not twisting at the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen your spine down the midline of your mat. Press the instep of the left foot back. Exhale, spin the right ribs towards the sky. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Couple more breaths. Viparita Parsvakonasana. Ease down at your right foot. Lower your hands to frame it. Set the left knee down directly under the left hip. Half split. Lift the ball of your right foot flexed and straighten the leg by plugging the right thigh bone back while extending the heart forward, folding in for a few breaths. Ardha Hanumanasana. Walk your hands flat in front of you, and let's step back to downward facing dog. Pausing there for a couple of breaths. And scanning your body like you did at the start. Checking in with it. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, cross the knee towards your right elbow, fall in triangle, straighten the left leg towards your right wall. Flexing your left foot, lean the outer edge of the foot onto the floor and spin your right heel flat on the ground. With the left wrist right under the left shoulder, raise your right arm up and use every part of your body touching the floor to press the ground away and lift the left hip. You might opt to extend the right arm overhead, more of a side stretch, and or hover the left foot off the floor. A little more core strengthening. Last few breaths here. Slowly come back to three-legged downward facing dog and inhale, press the instep of your left foot towards your rear wall. Exhale again, cross left knee to touch, right elbow in plank. But this time, step the foot beside left thumb, entering a kneeling lunge. Rise up, Anjaneyasana. So as you separate your legs hips width apart, bending the front knee just above the heel, maybe sliding the heel forward, scissor the left hip back and rotate the right outer hip forward, slightly lifting your frontal hip bones. Then switch the hook of the thumb on top. Draw your shoulder heads behind you and plug them down as you tilt your heart up. A few more breaths. Lift your spine vertically and stack right hip above right knee, left knee above left heel. Let's prepare to twist. Cup the top of your left hand with your left thigh and inhale, lengthen your spine forward across your waistline. Exhale, begin twisting to the left. Try the first version you did on the first side. So right hand down on a block of the floor, left arm up. Or hook the right elbow outside your left thigh, hands in prayer towards the middle of your chest, arms open, or binding. Right forearm under left thigh, left arm behind you. Maybe come up high on the ball of the back foot. Tune into your breath for a few more. Inhale, look at your left foot. Exhale, frame it with your hands on blocks or the floor. Set the right knee down, lift the ball of your left foot flexed, and begin to straighten your left leg by plugging the thigh bone into the hip socket while reaching your heart forward as you fold. Half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. This time, plant your fingertips forward and step the right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Flip your palms face up under the soles of your feet in Padahastasana, stretching your outer wrists. Try to get your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists. Keeping the hands under, lean forward as far as you can balance and inhale, lift your heart through the gates of your arms. Hinging from your hips, exhale, drop your head completely and relax your neck. If you can here, bend the elbows apart and lift the shoulders away from the neck. Notice the jaw. You might flutter the lips to relax it more. Establish the rhythm of your Ujjayi pranayama. Slip the hands out from under and come on down to sit. Please take the skinniest width of a block, hug it between your ankles, and either the skinniest or middle width in between knees and thighs. Depends on your hips distance. Boat pose. Place your fingertips alongside your hips, point or flex your feet, and lift your legs forward. Knees bent or legs straight. Keep your hands down if you're needing that support. Otherwise, we're gonna turn this into another twisting movement to the breath. If so, inhale, raise your arms, get a little taller, relax the shoulders. Exhale, open the arms like a T and twist to the right, keeping the legs where they are. Squeeze the blocks. Inhale, lengthen up through center. Exhale, spread the arms and twist to the left. Again, inhale, center, relax the shoulders. Exhale, wring it out to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Last one, exhale, twist. Come back to center, lower your feet, and now place the blocks along the right edge of your mat, off the mat. So set them up like they're a number 11 on the lowest height, pointing at your right wall, where the farthest block from you is alongside your feet, and the 2 blocks are your shoulders width apart. Let's play a little more with some twists, with the option to arm balance. Just take it through the layers and discern what's most appropriate for your body by listening to the sensations. So bring your feet together. You're about a foot over to the left from the closest edge of the block. Knees together. Start by placing right hand on the floor behind the pelvis. Raise the left arm, root your sitting bones down, and lengthen the spine. Breathe in. Exhale, twist to the right. Use your obliques first, and then add the leverage of hooking left elbow outside right thigh. Choose to stay in this first layer, or take this all your weight to your feet and come into chair twist. Parita Utkatasana. Maybe sliding the left elbow even deeper. Make sure you're not turning the pelvis. Both knees are equidistant to the front edge of your mat. Stay here in this layer, or start to play with twisting crow, placing each hand on the blocks where your index fingers are parallel, pointing at the right wall. Keeping that hook of the left elbow, and now bending the elbows like chaturanga, pointing them towards the left wall to create a shelf in which you place your outer right thigh on and push off of. Maybe the feet lift off the floor. Maybe you straighten the legs towards the front of the room. Twisting crow. When you're ready to, come back down to the ground to sit. And let's drop the knees apart for bound angle pose. Bring the soles of your feet together, sit up tall, breathe in. Relax the shoulders and exhale, begin to bow. A few breaths. Baddha Konasana. Press down to your pelvis and breathe in, lift from your chest. All right, you know where we're going, but take your time and don't assume that it's going to be exactly the same on the second side. So listen to your body, practicing that kindness and compassion. Place your blocks outside the left edge of your mat similarly. Scoot about almost a foot to the right from the blocks, feet together, knees together. Sit tall with the left hand on the ground behind your pelvis. Raise the right arm, breathe in. Use your obliques first by exhaling, twisting to the left. Then add the leverage of the right elbow hooking outside the left thigh. Choose to stay here or continue to shift your weight onto your feet, entering twisting chair. Focusing on each knee being equidistant to the front edge of your mat, so you know you're twisting where it's safe, at your waistline, not the pelvis. Stay in Parita Utkatasana or begin to venture into Parita Bakasana. Twisting crow, hands on the blocks, elbows bending like chaturanga towards the right wall. Left outer thigh stacked on both upper arms and gazing past the blocks to shift your weight towards the left wall. Maybe you straighten the legs towards the front wall. Take your time coming back down to sit. And this time, coming into bound angle, you could practice it the same way. If you're feeling like you could open up the thighs and abduction a little more, you could place a block by the skinniest width and sandwich it between your feet, by the medium width, by the widest width, whatever is available. And or you could slide your feet forward while your feet are together. So decide, and just notice how each variation feels in your body. What's it asking for right now? Inhale, lift the spine and chest. Exhale, begin to fold. Rooting down through your sitting bones, inhale, lift your heart, come all the way up. Let's straighten the legs in front for Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine, maybe raise the arms if you're not holding a strap around the balls of your feet. And then extend your heart forward, breath by breath, hinging from your hips, keeping a slight lift in your chest as you draw your shoulders down your back. A few breaths here. Your hips, inhale to slowly rise. Come on down to your belly, lying face down, take a block with you. And let's open up the inner shoulders a bit in a yin posture. Since we've done quite some energetic practice, let's balance it out. So place a block just to the right of your skull and slide your right arm straight out to the right with a palm resting face down. Place your left hand on the floor beside your left shoulder, pressing the ground away with it. Begin to roll slowly onto your right outer hip, resting the right ear onto that block. Take a moment to slide the right shoulder blade further down your back. And especially pay attention to how your inner right shoulder feels in discerning how deep you'll lean further back. Maybe stepping the left foot off the mat behind you. And just explore for a few more breaths. Begin to roll onto your belly again. And pause there for a moment, maybe resting your forehead on the block. Sense both shoulders. Notice any difference. Then transfer the block to the left side of your skull and slide your left arm out to the left, palm resting face down. Place the right hand beside your right shoulder, pressing the ground away with it as you begin rolling over onto your left outer hip, resting your left ear on the block. Allow a moment to slide the left shoulder blade further down your back. And notice what this left shoulder is asking for in depth. Explore as you breathe mindfully. Then gently begin to roll onto your belly. This time, sliding back into Balasana, child's pose. You could bring the block if you want to rest your forehead on it there. Place your arms wherever your body's asking for. A few breaths here. Sense what your energy is like right now. Place your hands on the ground alongside your knees and inhale to roll your spine slowly upright. We're going to enter a restorative posture to open up the heart center. Instead of active back bends, we'll use a restorative one. So prepare to be in it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Setting up 2 blocks in supported fish, you might trace the midline of your mat with a medium height of 1 block, and then place the medium height of the second block towards the rear edge of your mat, spacing the blocks 1 to 2 inches apart. You can decide once you're lying down, you can feel it. With your pelvis on the ground, choose to either stretch the legs out, let the feet flop apart, or if it feels better in your lower back, to bend the knees. You can drop the knees together, gently stretching across the lower back. With your pelvis remaining on the floor, lean back slowly until the bottom inner tips of your shoulder blades meet the closest edge of the closest block. Dropping your shoulder heads along the sides of it as the back of your skull rests on the furthest block. You might choose to bend your elbows apart like a cactus shape, or splay the arms down by your thighs with the palms face up. Encourage broadening the collarbones and a feeling of buoyancy at your heart center, a light-heartedness. Feel free to release control of your breath here and just sense the body breathing naturally. Let the exhales invite your bones to sink deeper towards Mother Earth. Especially the bones of your skull and shoulder girdle and arms. Feel into 3 more breaths where you are before you gently begin transitioning upwards to sit. Find the easiest path to get there. Let's prepare to practice breathing technique that will help us to tune inward for meditation and Shavasana, which will come before that. This is also a way to balance the lunar and solar energy within Inga Pangala, bringing that across the Nadi, the Sushumna Nadi, which is the main channel of energy throughout your 7 chakras. So bringing balance to the brain. So this practice is alternate nostril breathing, or Nodi Shodhana Pranayama. So sitting upright with your pelvis evenly grounded and your whole body at ease. Rest your left hand in a mudra if you choose, like Gyan Mudra, which cultivates elevated consciousness, bringing the thumb and first finger to touch, resting the palm face up. Or Grounding Mudra, maintaining the same shape but turning the palm face down. Place your right hand in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out your thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. As you close your lips, I invite you now to breathe softly. Different than Ujjayi breath, where you can't hear the breath. So this invites you to pay more attention to subtlety. And we'll use the right thumb to close the right nostril, the right ring and pinky to close the left nostril. Let's prepare to start 3 cycles together and then 2 cycles on your own by emptying this breath. Maybe close the eyes. Close right nostril with right thumb. Inhale slowly through left. Hold the breath in. Close left nostril. Exhale gently through right. Hold the breath out. Inhale through right. Hold the breath. Close right. Exhale through left. Hold the breath. Second round, inhale through left, filling up the belly, the rib cage, the collarbones. Hold the breath in. Close left. Exhale just as slowly through right. Hold the breath out. Inhale deeply through right, but softly. Hold the breath. Close right. Exhale through left, gently and slowly. Hold the breath. Inhale through left, third round. Hold the breath. Close left, exhale through right. Hold the breath. Inhale through right. Hold the breath. Exhale through left. Hold the breath. On your own, continue 2 more cycles. your time. When you finish, allow the breath to flow naturally. Sit and observe how you're feeling after that. And slowly begin to lower your body to the ground. You can lie down, rest in stillness, breathing naturally with your eyes closed, tuning inward for a few minutes. Shavasana. Let your body rest here a little longer while you become aware of the sensations you're experiencing now. Feeling how your body is responding to your asana practice. Like you're waking up someone that you love, very gently and gradually. Begin to move little parts of your body. And ease into larger ones. With your eyes still closed, gradually turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Feeling your body breathe naturally. Notice the quality of the breath now. And sense the way you feel energetically. Then take your time, pressing your palms into the earth, rising into a comfortable seat for meditation. Invite your spine to lengthen upright, with your heart space open and buoyant, and your whole body relaxed. You might choose to place your hands in a mudra like earlier. And for 5 minutes, let's sit here, resting your awareness on the sensations of the natural breath, wherever you can most easily feel them in your body. For 5 minutes. As you continue to sit here, bring your awareness to your heart center. Notice any emotions that feel alive in you right now. Notice how you feel mentally. As we bring our practice to a close, you might join your hands in prayer, offering appreciation for anything that comes to heart. Then rename your intention for this practice. And remember to whom you dedicated today's practice. And together, as we chant Om 3 times, sense the vibration you are both giving and receiving, acknowledging your interconnection with life force within and around you. Inhale deeply. Bowing in towards your heart center, remembering the keys of inner peace, kindness to those who are happy, compassion for those who are less fortunate, honor for those who embody noble qualities, and equanimity to those whose actions oppose your values. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.